The glass in your hand was just about empty, the lager in it turning to a thin foam as you finished it off. Rainbow sat next to you, cradling a mug of cider. It's pretty much the only thing she was willing to drink in this place despite your protests. You had tried giving her some rum you got in from a friend in Philadelphia, but the stuff only made her gag. Dash knocks back her mug, slamming it to the wood of the bar with a satisfied exhale. Wiping away the foam from her lips, she looks to you and grins.
So, you have to tell me, what was life in Manhattan like?
Oh, it was nice for the time. If you use the word nice in the same capacity as the word shitty eyes.
Oh, please. There must have been fun to be had somewhere in that city.
Not really. The best nights were spent with a handful of mates down at a bar like this. Only thing missing here is a decent dartboard. And quality booze.
Dash raises her empty mug to the bartender, ordering another drink.
That's why I stick to cider. I can't get drunk as quickly on this stuff as opposed to whatever the heck it is you drink.
It's beer.
Yeah, and it's nasty.
One of these days, I'll have you nursing the bottle of whiskey late into the evening. Mark my words.
You slide the empty glass of lager down the bar, pulling out your flask from your coat and down the liquor within.
Is something wrong? Is something out of place? Do I have something on my face?
You shake your head, a smile on your face.
No, it's nothing, Zakara. I'm just glad I finally got to meet you. Now, I was told you'd been taking care of Baloo for me.
She nods, motioning for the both of you to follow her.
Your friend, as you call him, is quite the case. While he allowed me to doctor him, he seemed to be the sort of bear that needed his space. I could only approach him with his blessings, and even then, it was only to change his dressings.
I'm sure he was just being careful is all. The guy's normally very friendly, but he doesn't know his own strength. He probably didn't want to risk hurting you.
That might be. He's certainly unique among his kind and ever free. Not many Ursa Minor would consider befriending a creature so small. Then again, among his kind, he doesn't seem all that tall.
Huh?
This time, Twilight spoke up.
Yeah, I've seen an Ursa Minor before, and your friend Baloo seemed to be about 3/4, maybe 2/3 the size of the one I saw.
I see. So Baloo's a runt then?
Precisely. Most Ursa Major don't really care one way or the other if their cub is a runt or not, but for those that do, well, I suppose we should be thankful your friend's still alive.
You nod, thankful for that very fact. Baloo was alive, and Zakora had been taking care of him for you. As your throat feels that old familiar burn, you pass the flask to Rainbow.
What do you want me to do with this?
I want you to kiss it and start a family. It's a flask, Dash. The fuck you think you're supposed to do with it?
She rolls her eyes and takes it, sniffing the whiskey within.
Don't be a fucking baby. Just drink it.
Dash sighs and takes a sip. She cringes a bit at the taste, but perks her ears up all the same.
This isn't that bad, actually.
Told you. So, what you want to know?
Well, you never told me what you did after getting out of the orphanage, so...
It's not something I tell often, Dash. Sorry.
It's true. Dash was your best friend out here, but not even she knew about the gang you ran with back in Manhattan. So far, Twilight was the only one to know about that. You nod as you reach for a cigarette in your shirt pocket, craving a smoke right about now. To your dismay, you find that the small carton is empty, save for one last cigarette.
Ah, well, fuck me.
Dash takes another sip, this time larger than the last.
What's the matter?
I'm out of cigarettes.
So, just go get some more.
Dash, there's only one place in town that grows tobacco and sells cigarettes.
Right.
You cock your head as you stare at her, waiting for it to sink in.
Oh.
Right.
Ponyville had only one distributor when it came to tobacco products, the Apple family. And right now, the Apple family wasn't taking very kindly to you. Your hand reaches for your face, rubbing the space between your eyes.
Guess I can head down there tomorrow. See if they'll sell me a carton or two.
A voice from behind you chimes in on your predicament.
Or you could just ask me. Consider I'm right here.
Glancing over your shoulder, you spot Applejack sauntering over to the bar, sitting next to you and raising a hoof to the bartender.
Evening, lass. What brings you here tonight?
Thought I'd get off the farm for a night. Might try to find a nice bed that doesn't smell like hay to sleep in.
She gives you a sly grin as she snatches the glass of cider that slides down to her.
Sorry, love. Whenever I think I might have at you, your family tends to use me as their own personal punching bag.
Oh, and here I was thinking you were the dangerous type.
She gives you a wink as she takes a drink from her glass. Damn it. She wasn't making it easy to resist tempting fate. Dash pulls you over to her, whispering into your ear.
Don't!
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
You could wake up a bunch of stallions with murder in their eyes, that's one thing.
True. But that would imply I also wake up with that mare next to me in the morning.
Rainbow groans and shoves you over, drinking from your flask still. You turn to Applejack as she adjusts herself on her bar stool to get a better look at you.
So, are you the dangerous type?
Maybe. You aren't worried that your brother and his goons might try to kick my teeth in?
She grins, biting her lower lip softly as she brings a hoof to your chest.
Something tells me you're even less concerned with that happening, Sugar Cube.
Time to weigh the options in your head, it seems. On one hand, you could try to bed the mare next to you and have a right good time at it as well. On the other, her family would try to flay you alive if you actually had a roll in the proverbial hay with her. It was a tough decision, that was for sure.
I know a quiet little place near here, right behind the bar. Once you make up your mind,
She hops off her stool, flicking her tail upwards and brushing your chin with it.
just come back there and we can get better acquainted.
She walks away from you and out the bar.
She's gone. Good. Jeez, man, I thought you were actually going to go in.
You snatch your flask out of her hooves and bring it to your lips, tilting your head back.
Whoa, the hell are you doing?
You raise your hand, signaling her to wait while you down the entire container, slipping it into your coat once you finish.
Excuse me, Dash. But I have a country girl to go team.
You cannot be serious.
Cheers.
You hop out of your seat and walk out of the bar, leaving Dash to shake her head in her hooves. The prospect of having a night with AJ. Heavy risk, but the prize? Standing in front of the bar door, you take your last cigarette and light it, taking a deep breath for good luck. Turning the corner and walking down the alleyway, you spot Applejack standing underneath a neon sign for the store next door. You walk up to her, a sly smile on her face, as she makes her way to you, her orange fur illuminated by the green neon light behind her.
So, lass, where shall we begin, aye?
You bring a hand to her face, stroking her cheek gently. She smiles at you.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
She cranes her head past you and nods as the sound of hooves walking up to you sounds off.
Shite.
You whirl around and ball a fist, clocking a medium-sized colt right in the jaw, sending him yelping to the ground.
The hell are you doing?
Applejack trots up to you and crouches down at the colt as he nurses his jaw.
Here I thought you were interested, when you're really just trying to get a jump on me.
He's here to make a deal with you, you jittery son of a bitch.
The colt rubs his jaw as he gets up, smiling.
It's all right, Applejack. Oh, you were right. He's one mean bastard. Mean a right hook by the look of it.
Who the fuck are you?
The colt brushes some of the dust off his chest and nods his head, holding a hoof out to you.
Time Turner. It's a pleasure, really.
Uh-huh. Any reason you're trying to sneak up on me while I'm trying to get lucky with our blonde friend over here?
Applejack blushes lightly as she stands next to Turner.
Well, Applejack here came to me with a proposition. She tells me that her brother and some of his friends gave you quite the thrashing a few nights ago.
Did she also mention the part about me being the only conscious one to walk out of that fucking barn? Or did she gloss over that bit?
Time Turner smiles and gives a short laugh.
Oh no, she most certainly mentioned that part. In fact, that was the part I took a bit of interest in.
You raise an eyebrow while rubbing your hand.
We want you to fight.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again?
Turner here runs a small fighting circuit, underground sort of thing. He wants you to fight for him.
You look from Applejack to Time Turner, and then back to Applejack.
If he wants me to fight, why the fuck are you coming to me in a bar and hit me up?
Because she has a personal stake in the next fight.
Big Mac is in the next fight. We want you to go into that ring and win it.
Wait.
Mac has been the most overbearing bastard to me for the longest time. I'd like to see him get taken down a peg.
You take a drag of your cigarette, mulling this over.
Alright, let's say I'm your fighter. What the fuck is in it for me?
Other than your share of the winnings, you'd be making 40% of the total pool, and trust me, once I announce you as my fighter, the betting will go through the roof.
You look over to Applejack.
I want cigarettes.
Deal. How many?
5 cartons.
Done.
And you've got yourself a fucking fire.
You shake their hooves, Turner smiling from ear to ear.
Perfect. The fight's in 3 days at the Apple family cellar. I'll stay in touch.
He walks off and you turn back to Applejack.
So, Miss Applejack, how about you and I?
She shakes her head.
Sorry, darling. No can do. I was just doing Turner a favor. However,
She pushes you back to the brick wall, her hooves on your shoulders.
I don't see why you can't get to know you after winning your big fight.
Running a hand down her neck and using the other to take the cigarette out of your mouth, Applejack kisses you deeply. When she breaks away from you, she exhales, your smoke trailing from her nostrils.
Some other time, lover boy.
She hops back down, smiling as she saunters off.
Fucking tease.
Putting your cigarette back into your mouth, you turn around and head back for the bar. If you were going home alone tonight, Then the best you could do to make up for it was to get a bit drunker with Dash. Entering the bar, you're greeted with a sight you didn't need to see. The 3 colts from the other night were currently surrounding Rainbow, sneering at each other as they try to make a pass at her. You stride calmly up to the one in the middle, their leader, and tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah? What the hell do you...
He freezes, his eyes widening in fear when he turns around to see you. Taking a drag of your cigarette, you glance at all 3 of them before locking eyes with the colt in the middle.
Listen to me, and listen close. You, my friend, are a dick.
We're not looking for trouble, man.
Now you, obviously, are the big dick. The man on the side of the area bulls. Now there are 2 types of bulls. There are big brave bulls, and there are little mincy faggot bulls.
You take the glass from him, drinking his beer.
Now dicks have drive and clarity of vision, but they are not clever. They smell pussy, and they want a piece of the action. And you thought you smelled some good old pussy, and have brought your 2 little mincy faggot balls along for a good old time.
You finish his beer and toss the glass in your hand up and down, not breaking eye contact with him.
But you've got your parties muddled up. There's no pussy here. Just a dose that'll make you wish you were a bar and a woman. Like a prick, you are having second thoughts. You are shrinking, and your 2 little balls are shrinking with you.
The middle colt gulps down air, his ears turned downwards.
Now, fuck off.
They start to back away, but the one in the middle puffs out his chest and glares at you, confident for some reason.
Ha! Joke's on you. My cousin's here.
Why the fuck should I care about your goddamn...
Pain flashes through your head as it's slammed to the bar by a rather buff Pegasus.
No pony messes with Roy D. Rage or his family.
Oh, fucking hell. Why do I always piss off the burly fuckers?
You get up, rubbing your head as you do so when you come eye to eye with this guy.
Creepy eyes you got there, mate.
Are you messing with my cousin?
Say I was. Are you going to kick the living shite out of me for doing it?
Yeah!
You lean up on the bar, grabbing Dash's glass of cider. You raise it to Roy D. Rage and take a long gulp.
Cheers, shithead.
His nostrils flare and one of his eyes begins to twitch, along with his little wings. Time to take him down a peg.
I see you've got yourself some tiny wings. I take it you're as ripped as you are as a sort of compensation, eh?
What the fuck did you say to me?
Nothing. I was just insinuating that you're not comfortable having small appendages.
He begins heaving as he breathes harder and harder.
Oh, what's the matter? Strike a chord in that wee brain of yours. I'm guessing it's about the size of your wings, among other things.
That's done it. He charges you, flying as fast as he can at you. You grin. Why, I better know how to get glass out of a hand. You sidestep him, bringing the thick glass mug right into his face, shattering it to pieces. He barrels into the bar while yelling about his face. When you grab him by the shoulders and pound him into the bar, sliding him down its length and throwing him to the ground. All of a sudden, his cousin and his cunt friends rush you, tackling you to the ground.
Dash, could use a hoof over here.
She zips over and clocks the one with the mullet square in the jaw, while you toss the others off you. Grasping a colt, you pick him up and toss him to Rainbow Dash, who headbutts him to the floor. You send a boot to his stomach, shutting him up.
Dash, I think we're done. Pay the bartender like a good mare, will you?
It's your turn to cover the tab, though.
Aye, it is. I also got these cunts off your back earlier.
Point taken.
She trots over to the bartender and tosses him your pay, and the 2 of you leave. As the 2 of you walk down the street, you try your best to pick up the glass in your hand, wincing slightly as you do so.
Fuck me. Had to go break the glass over his face, didn't I?
You have a habit of doing that.
True. Might as well buy the bartender a set for hard swimming Eve.
So, what happened with Applejack?
You roll your eyes and run your good hand through your hair.
She wasn't looking for anything intimate. Turns out she was buttering me up to join some sort of fight club being run by a guy named Time Turner.
So what'd you do?
I said yes. My first fight is in 3 days.
Rainbow pumps her hoof a few times and cheer.
Dude, I can't wait to watch that. Where's that?
Sweet Apple Acres. Their cellar, in fact.
This is going to rock! Who are you fighting, do you know?
You give a smarmy grin.
Macintosh.
This will be awesome.
You agree with her. Getting a chance to go up against Big Mac one-on-one is sounding like a dream come true at the moment. Eventually, Dash says her goodbyes and flies off to her house above Ponyville, while you stumble down to the library. Making it to the cellar door in the back, you decide not to bother Twilight about your hand until tomorrow morning. It was late after all. Throwing open the cellar door and making your way into the basement, you walk over to the desk where you place the book Twi had given you.
Adventure novel, huh? I guess a quick read wouldn't hurt any...
You could see your painting in the corner of the room. The sheet was off the easel, hanging on the chair nearby.
Come out, Tink. I know you're in here. Twilight, now.
Reluctantly, Twilight carefully trots out from behind a few cardboard boxes, hanging her head slightly.
Did you hurt your hand? it's bleeding.
Why?
She trots up to you, trying to divert the subject.
Let me just...
Why?
She cringes and gives a weak smile.
Did you? Look at my paintings.
Twilight loses the fake smile, takes a deep breath, and gives a small, real smile.
They're lovely, Anon. I guess I was just curious to see why you needed so much paint. I figured you were painting. That was obvious, but Anon, some of these are breathtaking.
Carefully, she floats over a painting of a landscape you had done.
Like this one. I don't think I've ever seen something this vivid before. The green hills, the water on the shores. Anon, this is beautiful. I don't remember seeing anything like this in Equestria, though.
It's not from Equestria. It's on Earth.
Her eyes widen.
These paintings are of Earth? Where? Did you...
No, you know what I'm concerned about.
She turns her head, looking at the canvas behind her. When she looks back at you, she blushes and nods.
What did you think?
What?
You walk over to your painting, pick it up, and show it to her.
What did you think?
She looks away from you, but you walk back up to her, kneeling. The painting you were hiding all this time was one of her. One of Twilight. You had wanted to make it for her, sort of a way to say thank you for taking you in.
Well?
Your stern demeanor softens a bit now. Maybe it was the booze. She looks back up at you, that small, embarrassed smile on her face still.
I think it's wonderful, Anon.
Really?
Yes, really.
Good. You ruined a fine surprise, you did.
Anon, you're strange.
Am I now?
You get back to your feet, placing the canvas on your bed.
You like to play a mean game, a tough guy act. But you know what? I think you have a soft spot.
Oh, isn't that nice? Now, would you mind helping me get all these fucking glass shards out of my hand?
You sit down in your chair as Twilight walks over to you. As magic envelops your hand and the shards within start to pop out, you look at Twilight. Despite everything, she let you stay here in her home. She was right. You were a brute and a drunk. Yet she let you stay. She patched you up. Why? Maybe it was so she could run more of those tests on you. Maybe it was so she could suck up to that princess of hers. Maybe. But still, she let you stay here all the same.
Thank you.
Twilight looks up at you, her ears perked up and her eyebrows raised.
Did you just thank me?
Aye?
You're welcome, Anon.
She smiles warmly at you, before going back to inspecting your hand.
I really do love the portrait.
I'm glad. So do I.
You can see her cheeks redden a tad before she releases your hand of her magic.
All done. Hope that helped.
It did. Can I ask you something?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Would you like to come watch me beat the piss out of Big Macintosh?
What? What? Why would I?
It's an actual fight, Twi. A real one. With a crowd and everything.
She puts a hoof to her face and groans.
Why do you always have to do this?
So is that a yes? Should I go ahead and reserve a seat for you?
She closes her eyes in thought.
It's a maybe.
She flinches when you grab her chin and give her a light kiss on the lips, smiling at her.
Thanks, love. Could use the moral support.
Well, yes. Well, that's good. Good. Yes.
Flustered and a bit confused, Twilight backs away towards the stairs.
I am going to bed now. Yeah, bed.
Evening.
Yes, good evening, right?
She stares at you for a bit before eventually teleporting away in a snap, only to reappear once again. She trots over to your bed, grabs her portrait, blushes at you, and teleports away once more. You give a dry laugh, chuckling to yourself.
Mares.